Have you ever stayed up late, lying in bed, listening to the sound of someone you love tossing and turning, hour after hour? You hear the sighs, the restlessness, the creaking of the bed. You peek in quietly, and there, your mom, your dad, your grandparent, sitting upright again, rubbing their forehead, looking so tired, so helpless. And in that moment, you wish there was something you could do. Something simple, something real. Not another bottle of pills, not another trip to the doctor. Just a gentle way to help them sleep and stay asleep. If you've ever found yourself in that situation, you're not alone. Many families face this silent struggle every single night. And let's be honest, watching someone grow older is already hard enough. But watching them suffer from sleepless nights? That hits differently. Because poor sleep doesn't just mean feeling groggy in the morning. For seniors, it affects everything. Their memory gets foggy. Their moods swing. Their blood pressure rises. They're more likely to fall, get sick, feel isolated. And if it goes on for too long, it starts to steal away the energy and joy they still have left to enjoy. But here's what most people don't know. You don't always need to turn to sleeping pills or sedatives, especially when those can come with side effects that do more harm than good. Nature, believe it or not, has already provided us with some powerful, sleep-enhancing foods that doctors are quietly recommending more and more, especially for older adults. And today, we're going to walk through 5 of them. Some are so common, they might already be sitting in your fridge or pantry. But chances are, you've never thought about them as sleep medicine. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which foods can help your elderly loved one fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and wake up feeling more refreshed, with 0 side effects. And if you care deeply about someone in their later years, this could be one of the most important videos you watch all month. So stay with me. Oh, and if you're here because you truly want the best for your aging parents or grandparents. If you're the kind of person who believes in natural care and gentle healing, then go ahead and comment, "Better sleep starts now," below. It tells me you're serious about making a change. And don't forget to subscribe to Elderly Healthy Tips, your trusted source for simple, science-backed health advice that puts love and dignity first. Let's dive in. Let me introduce you to Mr. Thomas. He's 73 years old, a retired math teacher, a grandfather of 5, the kind of man who still walks to the corner shop every morning just to say hello to his neighbors. But at night, sleep was a war zone. He tried it all: chamomile tea, warm milk, white noise machines humming softly in the background. He even stopped napping during the day, hoping that would fix it. Still, the hours dragged on. Midnight, 2 a.m., 4 a.m., and then sunrise again, with barely 2 or 3 hours of broken sleep. His daughter, worried and desperate, started looking beyond the usual advice. That's when she stumbled on something unexpected: kiwi. Yes, kiwi. That small, fuzzy fruit we often overlook at the grocery store. Turns out, it's more than just a tangy snack. You see, kiwis are loaded with serotonin, a hormone that plays a key role in managing sleep cycles. In younger people, serotonin levels are usually balanced. But as we age, the body doesn't produce as much. And that's a big reason why seniors often struggle with falling asleep or staying asleep through the night. On top of that, kiwis are rich in antioxidants, especially vitamin C and E, which help reduce inflammation and support deep, restorative sleep. Now here's the twist. Most people think eating fruit before bed is a bad idea. They worry about sugar spikes or indigestion. But kiwi? It's different. In fact, studies show that eating 1 to 2 kiwis about an hour before bed can actually help older adults fall asleep faster, sleep longer, and experience better sleep quality overall. No medication, no grogginess the next morning. Just a simple, natural remedy that works with the body, not against it. And you know what? After just 2 weeks of this bedtime habit, Mr. Thomas was sleeping nearly 6 full hours a night. For him, that felt like a miracle. So, if you're helping care for someone in their 60s, 70s, or 80s, and you're tired of watching them struggle with restless nights, try this. Slice up a couple of fresh kiwis. Offer them about an hour before bedtime. Make it a little routine, a little act of love. It's simple, it's safe, and it just might change the way they sleep. But kiwi isn't the only fruit that can calm the nervous system and support better rest. Let's talk about a more familiar, but often underrated sleep booster. Now, let's shift from fruity to nutty and meet Mrs. Fatima. She's 76, a retired school nurse, a woman of wisdom, grace, and always the first to remember birthdays in the family. But recently, something changed. She started forgetting little things, where she left her glasses, what day it was. And mornings became difficult. She'd wake up drained, foggy, and irritated. It wasn't like her. The spark she once carried so effortlessly, it was starting to dim. Her grandson, a university student studying nutrition, noticed. And instead of rushing to blame it on age or memory loss, he dug deeper. He asked her about her sleep. Turns out, she hadn't had a full night's rest in months. So, he suggested something simple, a handful of almonds before bed. Not pills, not supplements, just almonds. Now, here's why that idea was smarter than it sounds. Almonds are a powerhouse of magnesium, a natural mineral that helps muscles relax and supports steady heart rhythms. They also contain melatonin, the sleep hormone that tells your brain, hey, it's time to wind down now. And just like with serotonin, melatonin levels drop as we age. For many seniors, the body's internal clock, called the circadian rhythm, gets out of sync. That's part of why they often fall asleep late, wake up too early, or struggle to feel rested. Now, there's a common worry when it comes to eating nuts at night. People think, won't that be too heavy? Won't it cause bloating? But here's the truth. When taken in small amounts, just 5 to 10 almonds, they're perfectly gentle on the stomach and give the body just the right dose of sleep-promoting nutrients. It's not about overloading the body. It's about nudging it toward calm. Just enough to relax the nervous system, soothe the muscles, and ease into sleep. For Mrs. Fatima, the results weren't overnight. But within a week, her mornings were clearer. She felt more refreshed. She could recall things again. Her jokes got sharper, her laughter fuller. It wasn't magic. It was consistency and almonds. So if you're looking for something safe, small, and easy to introduce into your loved one's nightly routine, almonds might be the answer. Just a little bowl next to their favorite chair, ready before bed. But maybe your loved one doesn't want anything crunchy. Maybe what they really crave is something warm, soothing, and familiar. That's where this next food truly shines. Let's talk about Mr. Ade. He's 81. A retired civil engineer, once sharp with numbers and blueprints, now spending his days tending to his small garden and reading newspapers front to back. For years, his mornings started the same way. A bowl of oatmeal. Simple, familiar, filling, but it wasn't helping his nights. He'd lie awake for hours, frustrated and restless, until finally drifting off just before dawn. Then one evening, after skipping dinner because he wasn't very hungry, he decided, almost by accident, to warm up a small bowl of oatmeal. No bells and whistles, just oats, water, and a few banana slices. And that night, he slept like a baby. Why? It turns out oatmeal isn't just a breakfast food. It's actually a quiet hero when it comes to sleep support, especially for older adults. Here's the science behind it. Oats are rich in melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep and wake cycles. They also contain complex carbohydrates, which don't spike blood sugar, but instead help the brain absorb tryptophan, an amino acid that boosts serotonin and, in turn, melatonin production. It's a natural chain reaction. Calming, nourishing, effective. And for the elderly, whose bodies may not produce enough melatonin on their own, this gentle assistance makes a world of difference. Now here's where a lot of people get it wrong. We're conditioned to think of oatmeal as a morning meal, something to kickstart the day. But when you remove the sugar, ditch the milk-heavy toppings, and serve it warm and plain, it becomes a comforting evening ritual. Not heavy, not stimulating, just soft, smooth, and easy on the digestion. For seniors, especially those who don't feel like eating a full dinner at night, a small bowl of oatmeal can do double duty. It fills the belly just enough and whispers to the brain, it's time to rest. Want to take it up a notch? Add a drizzle of honey or a few slices of banana, both known to support healthy sleep. But don't overdo it. Too much sugar can backfire and disturb their sleep mid-cycle. So if you're caring for someone who seems unsettled at night, or you yourself struggle with winding down after a long day, consider swapping out the heavy meal for something light, warm, and sleep-friendly. But maybe you're thinking, is there a drink, a simple, soothing liquid that can calm the body even faster? There is. And chances are, it's sitting quietly in your kitchen right now. Let me tell you about Grandma Maka. She's 79, soft-spoken, always humming old songs while folding laundry, and loved dearly by everyone on her street. But beneath that warm smile, she struggled with something quietly painful, nighttime anxiety. For years, sleep was a battle. She'd lie in bed with her mind racing, replaying past conversations, worrying about her children, her health, her future. Sleep medications helped at first, but then came the grogginess, the dependency, the dull, heavy mornings. She hated how they made her feel. Still, she didn't know how else to cope until her neighbor, a retired nurse, shared a simple remedy from her own mother's bedtime ritual: chamomile tea. It wasn't new, but it was natural, gentle, and most importantly, consistent. So, every night around 8:30, Grandma Maka began brewing a small cup. She dimmed the lights, turned off the television, put on a soft instrumental track, usually something with flutes or gentle piano, and sipped. Within a week, the difference was visible. Her shoulders were less tense, her eyes softer. She no longer feared the night. She welcomed it. Now here's why chamomile works so well, especially for seniors. Chamomile contains a natural compound called apigenin. This little plant chemical binds to receptors in the brain, the same ones that respond to anti-anxiety medications, but without the side effects. It quiets the mind, soothes the nerves, and sends a calming signal to the entire body. You are safe. You can rest now. But here's a common fear I hear often. Won't tea before bed mean more bathroom trips? And that's a fair concern, especially for elderly folks who already wake up at night. But listen closely. It's not about drinking a full mug. It's about a small, warm cup, about 4 to 6 ounces, sipped slowly, around 30 minutes before bed. Enough to send that comforting warmth through the chest and settle the nerves, without flooding the bladder. And when you combine that with a bedtime ritual, lower lighting, soft sounds, maybe a gentle foot rub or a short prayer, the brain begins to associate all of it with sleep. It becomes habitual, a peaceful signal that says, the day is done. You've done enough. Now it's time to rest. And as the steam rises from the cup, so do the worries. But before we wrap up, there's one more food I want to share with you. It's a bit older than the rest. An ancient remedy, trusted by cultures around the world for centuries, and only now is science beginning to catch up. Now let me tell you about Ms. Joyce. She's 76, active during the day, full of stories, always the first to greet the mailman or chat with a neighbor. But when the sun went down, everything changed. Restless legs, tossing and turning, waking up at 2 a.m. and staring at the ceiling for hours. She tried warm baths, lavender oils, even meditation apps. Still, her nights stayed broken. Then, during a routine visit, her sleep specialist suggested something surprisingly simple: tart cherry juice. At first, she was skeptical. Cherry juice? That's for kids, she laughed. But she gave it a shot. Every evening, just after dinner, she poured herself a small glass, about half a cup. She sipped it slowly, like a quiet treat. Within a few days, something shifted. She began falling asleep faster, staying asleep longer, waking up without that foggy, heavy feeling. Now, here's what makes tart cherry juice so powerful. It's one of the few natural sources of melatonin, the hormone that tells our body it's time to sleep. And as we age, our natural melatonin levels decline. That's one of the main reasons seniors often struggle with fragmented sleep. But tart cherries don't stop there. They also contain tryptophan, the same amino acid found in turkey and warm milk, known for promoting sleepiness. And several studies have now backed it up. Older adults who drank tart cherry juice twice daily reported better sleep duration and sleep quality. But let's clear up a common mistake. Not all cherry juice is created equal. Regular sweet cherry juice won't do the trick. It has to be tart cherry juice, specifically from the Montmorency variety, to get those sleep-promoting compounds. So when you're at the store, read the label carefully. Look for 100% tart cherry juice, no added sugars or fillers. It should have a bold, slightly sour taste. That's how you know it's real. And here's the practical part. Start with a small glass, around 120 milliliters or 4 ounces in the evening. Not too close to bedtime and not too much. You don't want it sitting heavy in the stomach. And don't expect instant results. Give it at least a week of consistent use. Like most natural remedies, it works gently, gradually. For Ms. Joyce, it became more than a remedy, it became a routine. A signal to her body that the day was done and rest was near. And now she sleeps with ease. No pills, no side effects. Just a simple glass of nature's help. But before we move on, let's pause for a moment. Let's step back and reflect on why this all truly matters. Now let's talk about something warm, soothing, and often underestimated: chamomile tea. There's something about the quiet of evening, when the world slows down and the lights grow dim. That's when Grandma Amaka would sit on her balcony, staring into the night, unable to rest. Her thoughts would race. Her body was tired, but her mind refused to follow. After trying sleeping pills, warm baths, even counting backwards from 100, nothing seemed to work, until her neighbor, a retired nurse, introduced her to chamomile. Within just 1 week of sipping a single, small cup before bed, something shifted. Her anxiety softened. Her restlessness melted away. She didn't just fall asleep. She stayed asleep. Peacefully. Naturally. Chamomile has been used for centuries for its calming effects. But modern science now confirms what traditional healers always knew. It contains a compound called apigenin, a natural antioxidant that binds to specific receptors in your brain. These receptors help reduce anxiety and initiate sleep. And for seniors, where sleep regulation often weakens with age, this gentle nudge makes a big difference. Still, many people are hesitant. They think any tea before bed will lead to late-night bathroom visits. And yes, that's a fair concern. But here's the key: it's not about drinking a large mug. Just a small cup, warm, not too hot, about 30 minutes before bed. That's often all it takes. And it's not just about the tea, it's about the ritual. Dim the lights, turn off the TV, put on soft music, maybe something instrumental. Sit in a quiet space and sip slowly. That moment becomes a signal to the body. It's time to rest. It's not just tea, it's preparation for peace. And if you're wondering whether chamomile will interact with medications or existing conditions, studies have shown it to be remarkably safe for most elderly adults. But as always, a quick chat with your healthcare provider is a good idea, especially if they're on blood thinners. Now, if a warm cup of tea feels too subtle for your needs, don't worry. Our next remedy takes us back to an ancient ingredient that's been rediscovered by sleep researchers and seniors alike. Let's talk about a juice that's far more powerful than most people realize. Let's take a moment to recap the 5 critical things seniors should avoid doing first thing in the morning. Number 1. Getting up too fast. Something as simple as sitting up without pausing can lead to dizziness, blackouts, and dangerous falls. Number 2. Stretching or exercising too aggressively. Your body's been still all night. It needs gentle wake-up movements, not sudden strain. Number 3. Taking medication on an empty stomach. This one catches a lot of people off guard. Some pills need food to work well. Others can upset the stomach if taken alone. Number 4. Skipping breakfast. Even a small bite helps regulate blood sugar, energy, and focus. No one starts a car without fuel. And number 5. Consuming stressful news right away. What we feed our minds is just as important as what we feed our bodies, especially in those fragile early hours. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these surprised you the most? Have you noticed any of these habits in yourself, a parent, or someone you care for deeply? Your story might just help someone else who's quietly struggling. Drop it in the comments. I really do read them. This is how we learn, share, and grow together. And if this video spoke to you, if it gave you even one idea or moment of clarity, please take a second to subscribe to Elderly Healthy Wisdom. It helps more than you know, and it means you won't miss the next life-changing tip we share. Because in this community, we don't just talk about aging, we talk about aging well, with intention, with grace, and with the deep respect our elders deserve. Thank you, truly, for spending this time with me. Stay strong, stay compassionate, and above all, stay wise. I'll see you in the next video.